What is going on, Tentacrew? My name is Billy Skwid, and for every big gaming company that comes out talking about NFTs in their 2022 game plan, my beard grows an extra inch, and I have a feeling by the end of 2022 into 2023, I'm going to look like Hagrid from the Harry Potter series.
I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that.
It is something that is becoming more and more commonplace, and more companies are adopting this, and I'm starting to think that there is no end in sight, and eventually by the end of time, then we're just going to have to accept our NFT overlords and move forward. No matter how much backlash these companies are getting, more and more keep coming out saying that they are going to be implementing NFTs in some capacity into their games moving forward. We have Square Enix, we have the Stalker devs, which put NFTs into Stalker 2 and then are removing them because of the backlash. YouTube is making a creator monetization method through NFTs, which I find very interesting and don't know how that's going to work. Microsoft has mentioned blockchain, Web3, and NFTs going forward as well. And we have Ubisoft with Ubisoft Quartz actively distributing NFTs into Ghost Recon Breakpoint as of right now. So what is the game plan of these companies moving forward? How can it benefit us if it can? And what is the potentials of NFTs moving forward into the future? Let's talk about it. This is going to be a bit of a free-form video. I know you all come here for Elden Ring and Souls-like content, but I'm genuinely interested in this topic and kind of wanted to give my 2 cents based off everything that I've read and talked about with others on NFTs. So what is an NFT? It's a non-fungible token. It's supposed to give a certain stamp of internet ownership to a digital asset. The art market right now digitally is kind of turned into a giant pyramid scheme of NFTs where creators are like promoting NFTs, trying to get their communities to buy into it so that the value of these NFTs goes up.
Those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
And then they can sell whatever they have to try to make a profit. That is what it is in the digital art space. In the video game art space, it is more or less the same thing, which is really weird to me because the whole point of NFTs and blockchain and Web3 and all that stuff is it's supposed to be decentralized, but these companies are trying to get in on the ground level and centralize a decentralized platform as much as possible. When I say decentralized, I mean it's supposed to be something that anybody who has the means to do so will be able to make an asset and then sell it for whatever supply and demand dictates that to be. Well, gaming companies coming forward are trying to integrate these into their video games, and they are primarily doing it through artificial scarcity, artificially limiting the amount of an asset in a game, bumps the price up, and promotes reselling of that asset. NFTs do not thrive unless there is a limit to the asset in question. It is just simply how it works. Unless you have some way of making the asset harder to get or impossible to get after a certain number, an NFT will fail. The market value will go down as the market gets saturated. This is where the digital art space is having issues and has a lot of bad faith players in it, is because they are limiting the NFT to like 1,000. For instance, say you have an NFT line, each individual image is unique, there's 1,000 images total, and once those images are purchased, no more will be made. And NFTs also only function as long as that statement stands. As soon as a player says we only are going to sell 1,000 of these, and then they do another run of them, instantly done. The faith in that NFT and the value of that NFT goes down. In video gaming, it is a little bit different. There is actually an interface that NFT is going to function through, and you're not going to be able to just copy paste that asset. So in a video game standpoint, NFTs hold a little bit more grounds because they are not readily available. But that also means while people think images going for thousands of dollars through NFTs is stupid because you can right-click, copy-paste.
Hello there.
In a video game, there is actual ways of making that asset more limited. Say, for instance, a skin line comes out. There's only going to be 10,000 of these skins purchased, and then once they are purchased, they are done. No more are going to be put out. and then let the marketplace take the reins at that point. Why would a company do this outside of what they're already doing with skins and stuff, where they put out a skin and let the entire community purchase it, for instance? Say 25% of the community purchases that skin at whatever the price point the game dev makes it. That price point's not going to change. That skin is only going to become more and more diluted as more people purchase it, and there's never been the ability to really sell skins between accounts before, so that option isn't even there. Bring in NFTs, where 10,000 skins are out there. If you had infinite amounts of skins in an NFT, as those skins get purchased up and more enter the marketplace, the value of that skin is going to go down and down to the point where nobody's going to buy it from the distributor, which in this case, let's go with Ubisoft, for instance. Nobody's going to end up buying them from the distributor because they can go stand down the street and be able to purchase the NFT for maybe half the price, if not less. And that price is only going to go down as that skin becomes more and more commonplace in the game. So 10,000 of a skin. They're all purchased out. They're being distributed throughout the community. Say this is a launch skin for the game. And as the lifespan of that game goes forward, that skin is only going to generate revenue, which could be the standard price of a regular skin, or it could be more because they know that the limited scarcity, they can jack the price up on it and people will still buy it. So they get that initial purchase. They're not going to get the global purchase percentage, say 25%, that having it just available to everybody would, but they're willing to sacrifice that because any purchases past that initial 10,000 are going to be significantly higher if the value of the skin is deemed by the community to be worth it. If it's a good skin and people actively want that skin, the value is going to go up. If it's a shit tier skin and nobody wants it, the value is going to go down. That is a risk and reward that the gaming company is going to have to take in skins moving forward if an NFT system is introduced. It's the same with skins the way they are now, where if a game company puts out a shit skin, nobody's going to buy it. Nobody's going to want it. Yes, some people will, but the better the skin, the more sales they're going to get. Same thing with NFTs. And the interesting thing with NFT-based skins is they're going to get revenue on that skin throughout the game's entire lifespan. Where modern skins, as more players come into the game, they might see the skin and be like, I want to purchase that. It's eventually going to go down and then do a hard plateau at the bottom, if not fizzle out entirely, as more and more skins get introduced to the game, and the overall skin pool gets diluted. That's not going to be the case with NFTs, simply because of the limited scarcity. It is an artificial scarcity on that skin. So as the game goes on, more and more sales of that happen. Say Ubisoft takes 10% off of every transaction with that skin. They're going to make a significant amount more money off of that skin than they would if they just had it available wholesale. Add on to that the price of the skin is probably going to go up, or at least fluctuate, depending on the game community's demand for that skin and how often it's actually being distributed. That's going to be even more money in Ubisoft's pocket. There's also talk of a rental system being able to be introduced using NFT technology in video games, where, say somebody owns a skin, they don't want to sell that skin, but they can rent out the license for that skin so that somebody can use it for a week, for instance. And this will make it so that whales who want to purchase the skins can buy up the skins. Ubisoft gets profit. People, like other whales, they can sell it in between themselves. And then this opens the market up to players that don't have that kind of a disposable income, but do want to treat themselves every now and then, so they rent a skin. The person that they are renting off of gets a portion of the profit, and Ubisoft, again, gets some off the top. It is a centralization of a decentralized technology, and it is really, really interesting. And this is why there is so much backlash to this. For one, the artificial scarcity. For two, the centralization of a decentralized topic. So how can NFTs be used? Well, the only ways I can see NFTs being useful to the gamer population is in a way that makes it so that NFTs are no longer profitable to the company that is producing them. Say, for instance, we end up making NFTs of games. Anytime you purchase the game, that is an NFT of that game. As more and more games get purchased, more and more of those NFTs are going to go onto the market. You could sell your digital copy of a game, just like you could sell a physical copy of a game on an online marketplace, and people would be able to buy it up. The difference between physical purchasing of a used game and digital purchasing of a used game is there is no degradation possibility of that asset. Digital assets don't degrade in the same way that physical assets do. And while the degradation of physical assets makes a scarcity in and of itself, so we've seen it with Mario discs that are still in the box selling for ridiculous amounts of money just because there is not that many of that item, the quality of those physical goods just degrades over time unless kept in the best condition. That is not something that a digital asset is going to hold. So as more and more of these games go out, unless a game maker is putting an artificial limit on how many games they are releasing into the wild, the default price of a game is only going to drop. And most games drop over time anyway, but this is going to make it a lot steeper of a nosedive for companies to be able to compete with people reselling games. So it'll eventually get to a point where the developers are drop the price of a game to the point where there's no reason not to. But even then, if it's NFTs, people are going to resell at a lower price point there. And the developer, even if they are getting a little bit of cream off the top, are not going to get the same potential purchasing that they would, unless, of course, they start making games a limited asset, which would be the ultimate scumbag tech move. So yeah, that is my take on NFTs in the gaming space. I do not see a single avenue that NFTs can be introduced into the gaming space where it is actually going to be beneficial to the players. And yes, I understand there are ways for people to make money off of NFTs. I get it. I see it all the time. It tends to be people that have the expendable income to make more expendable income. But what do you all think about NFTs in gaming? Do you see any route that a game could properly introduce NFTs that would actually make it worthwhile in investing in? I'm very curious because, like I said, I don't claim to be an expert in the field. I'm just coming off of everything I have seen moving forward. But thank you all very much for listening to this off-topic for this channel video. We're going to be back to Elden Ring and Souls-like content moving forward. If you liked the video, please like it. If you liked what we did here, please subscribe. Until then, Tentacrew, much love. Bye-bye.